Hello everybody, welcome back to Clegg.com's for tonight's action here in the Purple Sector Formula 1 League. We're back here tonight for round 6 of this 24 round season here, for season 13, and as you can see we're at the Miami Autodrome here for the Miami Grand Prix. Raced obviously around the legendary Hard Rock Stadium, and we're here tonight in slightly damp conditions. There's clearly a bit of rain about. It's pitter-pattering at the moment, you can see, so it's going to be a little bit of a tricky session here. Doesn't look like it's too wet, but it looks like it's a little bit too wet for slick tyres, so drivers are going to be out there on the inters for the time being. I wouldn't rule out a switch to slicks at the end of the session, especially if it stops raining though, because the rain looks pretty light to me from what I can see. There's not much spray at all, so it's really going to be about trying to maximise what you can on these inters. These intermediate tyres as well are going to be getting very hot because of the lack of actual water on the track. It's only damp. Oh my goodness me, it's C14 gets it horribly wrong out of the final corner there, and Scott's currently gone quickest in this session at the moment on a 1:36.4, sits top of the leaderboard there, but yeah, it's going to be a very difficult night, I think, in this qualifying session, at least for these drivers. I've got 13 drivers in the session here tonight. We're missing a couple, unfortunately, which is a shame. There was at least 4 people that I think handed in their apologies for tonight on the Discord, and I think maybe one extra has also not turned up, which is a shame. As Matty Pitt goes into second place, about a second, just over a second off of the fastest time there, being set by Scott, but looks like drivers are struggling to put laps in here. It's in that really awkward sort of middle ground where the inters can't really generate enough temperature because there's not enough water, but also it's very, very tricky to get the slicks around in these sort of conditions. So I think that might be a factor here, and why we're seeing not too many lap times coming in at this moment in time, as Justify goes into second place for the time being, currently 6/10 off of the fastest time being set by Scott there. So Justify splitting Scott and Matty. But yeah, at the moment it looks like drivers are just trying to get a bit of a rhythm here. Oliver goes into P3, 37.4 there for Oliver. C14 is coming into the final sector. Final couple of corners here for C4. I think he's going to be, is he coming for another lap, or is he going to come into the pits? Coming into the pits. We've got Mark in 5th place. C.'s got into second place, continuing his very good form here in qualifying this season. So C. 4/10 off of Scott's fastest time at the moment. Not bad at all there. But yeah, Mark went into 5th place with his last lap. So C4 are in the pits. We've got Rock out there on a flying lap at the moment, coming through the middle sector. Street Boy's out there on an out lap. We've got Rexy Boy, who's getting a bit of a cheeky slipstream here off of his teammate as they come down the back straight, which is that orchestrated? Probably, as we see Rexy Boy now into the final couple of corners. Let's see if it's paid dividends here for him as he comes into the final proper corner. The last one's actually just a bit of a flat out kink, not really a corner, but Rexy Boy, I'll tell you what, he's on a fast lap here, and this could well be pole position here for Rexy Boy. Here he comes over the line. It's close, but not close enough. 2/10 shy there of Scott. So Rexy Boy doing well so far with that slipstream off his teammate. That really must have helped him out. A couple of tenths surely would have been in the bag with that one. Ruck's gone into P5 on a 37.1, about 7/10 off for the fastest time. So Street Boy now on the lap, having given that slipstream to his teammate. We've got Clen currently still yet to set a time, but is coming towards the end of the lap here. So we'll see Clen over the line very, very shortly. Let's see what the reigning champion can do here. Took the win on Thursday night Tuesday night, I should say. Tonight's Thursday, I keep thinking tonight's Tuesday. But yeah, Clen obviously took the win on Tuesday night at Jeddah for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So yeah, he's on a bit of form at the moment, is Clen, after a bit of a slow start to the season. That's why his line he comes, and goes top of the leaderboard there by half a second. So Clen has absolutely knocked it out of the park there, but is the track improving, and are we going to see drivers continue to find time over the course of this session? Now Scott is back out on the track, who was on provisional pole a few moments ago, now down to P2. Can he now go for the immediate response here on Clen? We see Rexy Boy coming towards the end of the middle sector on in lap. We've got Cedar on a fly. Oh no, actually on an in lap, I think, because he's currently P4. Or is he on a flying lap already? That would have been a quick out lap from Cedar if he is. Let's jump on board. Oh yeah, it is a flying lap. I'll tell you what, in more ways than one, because he's 0.4 of a second up through the first sector. If he can find that sort of time in every sector, he'll be on pole here, but easier said than done as Cedar now comes down the long straight towards the braking zone, which heads into the stadium section. The first, oh well, yeah, the stadium section, let's go with that. Anyway, he's gonna, it looks pretty good through there, pretty tidy. I'll stay off those curves there, you can get track limits easily there. Here comes Cedar then out onto the back straight, and still 2/10 up, but has lost a bit of time there in the middle sector, lost 2/10 at least. Maybe that part of the track's getting a bit more slippery, who knows? The drivers probably know, but unfortunately they can't talk to us at the moment. But Cedar into the final two corners of the lap. So here he comes then. Final part of that now for Cedar. Is it going to be pole position? I think it's going to be an improvement. Oh, he only just improves there, so the track might actually be getting worse here. Cedar lost a couple of tenths in the final sector and the middle sector, so maybe the Inters are really struggling now. Potentially it could be the fact that they're on the wrong tyres here. We've seen Rock now has put the soft tyres on, so Rock's going to be our experimentalist here. And he'll be coming out of the box pretty shortly, you would have thought. But yeah, it does appear either the Inters aren't working anymore or the track's getting worse. It's still spitting very lightly, but they could well be shedding the water at quicker speed than what is actually coming down. And if that's the case, then there will be a dry line, which we can see rubber. There's definitely rubber on the racing line. So is there enough of a contact patch for these drivers to stick those slick tyres on? That's going to be the question, which we're going to find out pretty shortly. We've got Glenn just coming down the long back straight, the provisional pole sitter. Into the stadium, getting nicely wide there. You wouldn't be doing that if you didn't have much confidence in the grip on the surface. So now Glenn into the final part of the stadium, underneath the interstate, or the highway, not the interstate. And here he comes then. So Glenn out onto the back straight, 4/10 up. So he's continued to find time on his current provisional pole time. He's absolutely flying right now. And Glenn probably is going to go about a second clear at the top of the leaderboard. It will be a phenomenal time from him if he can keep this sort of momentum up. As Scott's gone P1 onto a 35.1 there, so Scott has eclipsed Glenn, but Glenn is on a quicker time here, so let's see what he can do. This is going to be very representative because they've done a lap times at the same time pretty much, and he comes over the line and he improves by a bit, by half a second. So he's 3/10 shy of Scott. Both of those guys did their laps at the same time. Scott appears to have the advantage here tonight in qualifying, which is huge here for him. Has had a bit of a so-so start to life on F125 as Scott, but I tell you what, he seems to have some confidence around this circuit. We've seen actually on F124 he always was strong in the changeable conditions. The race that stands out to me was Spa. As we see Cucan Roller here says hello Cucan Roller, welcome. But yeah, Scott currently top of the leaderboard here in Miami tonight. We've got Glenn coming towards the end of the middle sector here. Here he comes then through the stadium now. I'm good, thank you, Cucan Roller. How's it going? Are you alright? That's Glenn here. That's going to be coming into the pits in this lap, 2 seconds off of his personal best. Matty's out there right now as well, but down in his first sector. But he has gone P4 with Matty, so actually that's a good lap there for him. And C. Faulkner has gone into second place. So wow, look at that. C. Faulkner now finding time 0.002 of a second quicker than Glenn, which is incredibly close. Justify's just gone into 4th place, not far away at all. Good stuff, Cucan Roller, good to hear. Who are you backing tonight? Who do you reckon's gonna take the win? We've got also Rexy Boy, no, Matt Marks are going into 7th place. Rexy Boy's still P6 at the moment, and is that his teammate? It was. Well, I wonder if Rexy Boy is now going to do the swap here and do the favour here for Street Boy. Yeah, he's a little bit too far away. He's too far behind, I think. Unless they're trying to choreograph this. No, I'll tell you what, they got this locked, haven't they? Look at this. So the Ferrari drivers, once again, we saw last time Street Boy giving the slipstream to Rexy Boy. Now Rexy Boy is doing the opposite way around. Although saying that, he's got a good gap here, so he's not giving him as much of a slip as what his teammate did, because he wants to do a lap after this. I think I would imagine the dialogue's gone something along the lines of, I'm going to give you a slipstream, but I'm not going to let you pass because I need to do a lap after this and I don't want to lose momentum or tyre temperature. So Street Boy's got to do this on his own. He comes over the line. Oh, it's an out lap, so it's not even a flying lap. Okay, never mind. So they're not teaming up by the looks of it. So yeah, looks like they're not playing the team game. So anyway, Street Boy on a flying lap here. We've got Jelma in the comments. Hello, Jelma. Jelma, the 4-time champion of the F1 League Motive Racing. Obviously, we got many Motive Racing streams on the channel, and it did for a long time be known as the Motive Racing channel, but as of very recently, I've had a bit of a switch up because I don't just run leagues anymore. I commentate on other people's leagues now, and it seems a bit silly to be streaming primarily the other leagues on a channel called Motive Racing. It's just doesn't make a lot of sense, really. So yeah, but Motive Racing, the archive is still there, all the streams are still there. It's still the Motive Racing channel, guys. But yeah, Jelma, a star of Motive Racing, and good to see you in the comments there, mate. So Street Boy here coming down the long back straight, currently 6/10 up in the middle sector here, so absolutely flying. Now is he going to get a nice slipstream here off of the car in front? Looks like he's a little bit too far away at the moment. That's into the final couple of corners comes Street Boy. Now what is he going to be able to put on the board here? Currently P13 here in this session. With quite a lot of work to do. Here he comes over the line now, and P11 there for Street Boy, so not bad. Not too far away. And we got Freddie in a session. Good to see Freddie jumping in here with 3 minutes to go, so he might just get a lap in, or is he just going to be focused on making sure he can have a good race here? P14 wouldn't be the worst of places to start, but then again, he's used to better. I saw you live a few days ago and your commentary is always on point. Thanks, man, I appreciate it. You know I had to tune in. I can't see the rest of the comment, John, because I'm commentating on what's it called, remote play, so I can't see the rest of the comment, but I appreciate it very much though. I appreciate your kind words there. So we've got a lot of drivers now coming onto the soft tyres, and we're going to see the track ramping up and probably quite a few improvements here at the end of this session. So we've got Clen and Justify have stayed on the intermediate tyres. These guys are hoping that the track's going to have a marginal improvement of which they can capitalise on. With the inters and the guys on the soft are hoping that the track really improves at the end of this session, and then they'll be able to find a couple of seconds maybe. But if the track conditions haven't improved sufficiently, those soft tyres are going to feel like they're on an ice rink. So it's a slippery slope in more ways than one. But Matty Pitt in the first sector, just keep an eye on the top right hand corner, because that will tell us where the soft tyres are in relation to the inters right now. And Matty is a second up on his personal best. His personal best is a second off of the pole time, so just in the first sector alone he's already made up the deficit that he's got to pole position. So if he continues to gain at that sort of rate, we'll be seeing Matty Pitt putting it on provisional pole by quite some way. The only problem is that Matty's going very early here, so he's not going to get the benefit of a perfect circuit here. The track conditions are going to be a lot better for the guys behind him on the circuit than what he's going to be able to reap on this particular run. So we've got G.C. there going up into P4. That's going to be, he's on the inter, so he might get another lap in if he's got enough fuel. But Matty Pitt will be the next driver of these guys on the soft tyres to put a lap in. He's already up on the provisional pole time. So as it stands, if Matty Pitt, as long as he doesn't lose time on his personal best through this final sector, he'll be on provisional pole here. So the reigning sorry, not the reigning champion, the champion from 2 seasons ago is coming through the final corner now here at Miami. What is he going to be able to do? It's going to be poled by quite some way as he comes over the line by 1.2 seconds. Matty Pitt to the top of the board. Who's going to be next on the lap here? Keep an eye and see who's going to be crossing the line next. G.C. is I think on an in lap by the looks of it. Justify also on the intermediate tyres doing one more run. Rexy Boy is flying through the first sector. He's 2 seconds up on his personal best already. So this man here has been very quick on this F125 game so far. Goes a little bit deep there into the stadium section. Let's go Rexy saying Mango. Currently we're riding a board with him, Mango, at the moment. He's on a very quick lap indeed here. We're going to see where he is in relation to Matty in a second once we come out of this tight, slow section of the circuit. Here he comes then. Rexy Boy onto the power, controls the wheel spin nicely. He's 3 seconds up on his personal best. That'll put him on pole as things stand. So Rexy just got to keep it together through this final sector here. Justify's gone P2, marginally behind Matty Pitt by 17 thousandths of a second. We're riding a bob with Rexy Boy. Into the final corner we come now. It's surely going to be provisional pole for Rexy Boy, but is he going to stay there? Because there's loads of other drivers out there. We've got a caution. Somebody I think has binned it into the wall. We got Freddie up into 4th place as Rexy Boy comes over the line, and it's a provisional pole for Rexy Boy at the moment. But Scott has gone and taken it away from him straight away by 8 tenths of a second now. The times are coming in thick and fast. Clem goes into 3rd place just behind Rexy Boy on the intermediate tyres. The inters were the wrong tyre by the looks of it, but it was marginal between the two. C. Faulkner stays in 8th place, no change there for him, but that I think is going to be that then for the session. So Freddie managed to put in a lap right at the end of the session there, goes into 7th place. We have got another driver as well. Was it John that jumped in? Somebody else jumped in, so we've got 15 drivers, which is good to see. Jarma says, love to see Matty Pitt still out there rooting for him. Good to know you're supporting one of your ex-fellow motive racing drivers, Jarma. Yeah, because Matty was running took over the league, I think, before you left, didn't he? So he was running, he was the coordinator, I think, in your last season, must have been maybe the last 2 seasons. I think it was, I know it was late in your career at Motive, but yeah, I think Matty took it over around that time, wasn't it? But yeah, Matty, league owner here at Pebble Sector, him and T run this league. And I think you know T as well, don't you? Albeit, I think there were some controversies in Motive. But anyway, Scott takes P1 ahead of Rexy Boy 2nd, followed by Glenn 3rd with Matty Pitt P4. Justify and Mark there on a 3rd row with Freddie, who was also a racer at Motive as well. G.C.8, sorry, T4 8th head of C.C. in 9th. Oliver, I believe, also a racer in Motive, P10. Rock, Street Boy, T and John in 14th place. And rounding out the grid will be Drauga, who didn't put a lap in. So Drauga's going to have to do this one from the back of the pack, which is going to be a very tricky task indeed. T Latifi, yeah, that's the one. You got it. Yeah, there's at least, I think there's at least 5 drivers in here who raced in Motive, but they might have been after you'd left Jarma, I'm not sure. Well, yeah, I suppose you had to, or rather moved on, shall we say, because you never left the server, but yeah, you moved on to new challenges. But here we are then. So this is it, guys. This is the Miami Grand Prix here at the Pebble Sector Formula 1 League. Should be a good one. We've got dry conditions by the looks of it, or at least blue skies. The track looks to me to be pretty dry as well, based on this rather narrow view that we've got here from the pit lane. But are we going to have dry conditions throughout, or are we going to have unpredictable changeables, which could dictate a very different sort of race here? It's going to be fascinating to see how this develops here tonight, everybody. But anybody who's watching, and if you're a friend, family member, or otherwise associate of any of the drivers who are racing here in Pebble Sector tonight, then let us know who you're supporting.
As the formation lap gets underway here in Miami, the drivers will be wanting to leave a lasting impression on the thousands of fans who flocked to today's race. The anticipation is certainly rising, and everyone is hoping for a fantastic and memorable Grand Prix.
So Rexy Boy's gone for the hard tyres, but everybody else has gone for the mediums. So Rexy Boy could be a bit of a sitting duck on the first lap here. We know that the hard tyres are a little bit slower getting getting up to temperature compared to the mediums, so it could be a really tricky one for Rexy Boy. I don't know. I think it's new for F125. I wasn't sure whether it was new for this game or whether I'd just not noticed it before, but I'm pretty sure it is. It has just been implemented. Yeah, I just remember the other day hearing I was talking and Crofty was suddenly talking over me, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, Crofty, you know, calm down. But anyway, here we are. Lights coming on ahead. We're about to go racing here for the Miami Grand Prix here at the Purple Sector Formula One League. And it's the lights out, we're underway. And a good start there from Scott, as Glenn also got a good start there from the second row. As he looks to the outside here of Rex Boyd's tail. Oh, is the McLaren there? Went way too late on the race, completely missed his braking point there, did Mark, and has totally kamikaze there into the back in front of him. As we see Matty Pitt is up to third place, Rexy Boy in fourth, with Freddie attacking on him. Freddie moves up into fourth place there around the outside, and is he going to have that job done there, as these two are tussling a little bit, and a bit of contact as well between them. Justify might be able to seize on that. Up the inside he goes with Freddie up into P5, and Freddie there looking vulnerable here to G.C. but stays ahead for the time being. But Rexy Boy and Freddie having a bit of a to-do there, and Rexy Boy holds on to fourth place in that one. But Scott leading the race here on the opening lap ahead of Claire, and the gap under a second at the moment. Matty Pitt's fallen off of the top two a little bit here on this opening lap. You've got Rexy Boy under pressure here from Justify and Freddie, and Justify trying to go around the outside there of Rexy Boy. Sorry, of trying to go around the outside of Rexy Boy, but couldn't make that one stick. He's going to try again here, but for the time being he's holding on to that one there nicely, and Freddie managing to nick ahead of Justify again there. So Freddie managing to gain a place back there, obviously after that little tussle there with Rexy Boy. Going through the first few corners, but it's Scott leading the race here down the back straight towards the final corner. Just under a second is gap to Claire at the moment, with Matty Pitt there running in third place. You've got Freddie looking to the outside now of Rexy Boy into the final corner. As in the background there you've got G.C. now, who's got Justify down his inside, so he's trying to make a move here. Rock now looking pretty excited on the back of G.C. but G.C.'s got good straight line speed. Incredible acceleration there from that Red Bull. I've noticed that one straight away there. It seems to be very quick there down the straight, as we got Freddie into the pits here at the end of the opening lap, and so is Mark as well. So have those guys got damage, and is that going to be something that could really knock them back in this race? The gap up just under a second between the top two, as we see the rest of them fighting through the shot at the moment. But Scott and Glenn riding pretty much nip and tuck at the moment. This could be a cracking battle for the lead, as these two are already starting to gap Matty Pitt there in third place. We see the rest of the pack here coming through, and they're all kind of keeping it quite tight at the moment, as we got T on the back of Drauger in this battle for 11th place. We can see Justify's now moved ahead of Rexy Boy as well, up into 4th. That is a move 4 position there. We've got C Faulkner now getting ahead of Street Boy as well, up into P9, as we see riding on board with Drauger there. Sorry, Street Boy even, should I say. Just behind them is Drauger and T. But Glenn is keeping Scott on his toes at the moment in these early stages, I'll tell you that. Gap well under a second here between these two. There's Matty, who's got just over a second to Justify, and Rexy Boy running pretty close here on the back of Justify. Now looks to the inside, and is this going to be a move here? I think it surely is. So Rexy Boy makes that move up into 4th place. There's Drauger there moving ahead of Street Boy, and so is T, and T there going into the back of Drauger, and Street Boy they're back ahead of him. So T tried to go for it, ended up getting damaged, and is going to have to come in and get that fixed. I'm pretty sure about that, as Street Boy's still on the back of Drauger here, but not close enough to make a move into turn 1. Back to the leaders though. Scott and Glenn are giving it everything out the front here. Only half a second between them. Glenn is not letting Scott run away with this. These two were first and third on the grid. Scott managed to put it on pole in qualifying. They were quite a way apart actually in the wet conditions in quali, but in these dry conditions it certainly seems like these two are very much a match for each other at this point in time. Rexy Boy, the driver who started on the front row alongside Scott, currently in P5, so it's not been the opening couple of laps he'd have wanted. Jalma says Scott and Glenn are flying. They absolutely are, Jalma. They could have given, maybe even give you a run for your money, eh? Maybe not, I don't know. But nonetheless, yeah, these two managing to pull away despite fighting each other is pretty impressive when you consider the fact that they've obviously, I mean, Scott's going to be thinking about having to defend through a lot of these braking zones at the end of the DRS zones, and when you factor that in, he's doing well to still be extending the gap here to the guys behind. As Glenn having a little look here, he's getting a bit closer now. He might fancy a move into turn 1 if he can stay close through this section here. this could be a golden opportunity for Glenn here. Let's jump on board as we come over the start-finish line. The problem is, it's such a short run. The start-finish straight is only a few hundred metres, and then you're already braking. So it's pretty much it's not really much of a chance to get a run. As we look in the background here, you've got Justify and Rexy Boys still running pretty close here. What's the battery difference? Oh, let's actually get that up. So let's have a look. So Scott has got 54 and Clen's got 23, so Clen's used a lot more of his battery life just to keep up at this point. And here goes Clen now, looking to the inside. So he's used more battery, but he's also got the lead of the race, so he's got the upper hand at the moment. And Clen there with a lovely move at the end of the straight into P1, as Justify's got ahead of Matty Pitt into third place as well. That one's happened whilst we were faffing about with the graphics. So yeah, Justify now third, Matty Pitt still running right behind him, Rexy Boy, G.C. these train of cars with Ruck and Oliver, C. Faulkner as well as Drauger, and then a bit of a gap back to Street Boy. Freddie obviously coming in for that early pit stop alongside Mark, T and John. They're running in the lower places here, but Scott's got back ahead of Glenn down the back straight, and these two continuing to battle each other. What a fascinating development we've got going on here. So they initially swapped positions, Glenn got into the lead, but now he's having to follow his rival here once again. Scott, for those of you who haven't joined us so far this season, used to be called Davidoff, but now he's running by a name which is, I think, more similar to his real life name. But yeah, he's currently out in front here with a slender lead. Glenn, they're getting a little bit close to the back of Scott there. He'll now have DRS down the long back straight, or rather not the back straight. The back straight's the one before the start-finish straight. This is I guess the long straight. It's actually two long straights. I don't know. The second long straight's the back straight. The first one's the long straight. Let's just say that. Anyway, Glenn getting a bit closer there. Oh, Scott missed the apex by a mile there. That's going to give Glenn a bit of confidence here. He knows that Scott might be feeling the pressure a little bit. Ruck and Oliver are battling for 7th and 8th places. We're going to stick with the battle for the lead though, because these two are going to be very close coming down to the end of the straight. Well, Glenn didn't really get enough momentum there. Glenn is on power saving mode in sector 1, really smart. Yeah, well spotted. And we've got Glenn here getting a bit closer to the back of Scott here, down towards this final corner. So here we go then, he's going to get another dose of DRS. But I think he's just a little bit too far away at the moment. Look at this, we've got Ruck all over the back of Oliver here, fighting over 7th and 8th places. They've also got Faulkner and Drauger right with them. So these guys have dropped a little bit off of Matty, Rexy and G.C. Interestingly though, Justify is closing the gap to Scott and Glenn now. So we were mentioning before, weren't we, Jelma, earlier about Scott and Glenn pulling away, but over the last couple of laps, Justify has just started to creep into this battle a little bit, as Rexboy's got ahead of Matty up into P4. Down the end of the first straight. As you were between these four, Oliver, Ruck, Faulkner and Drauger. But battle still rages on here out between the front two. And Glen's got plenty of battery here. Got more than Scott has, but a little bit too far away, I think, at the end of the straight. He'll have a look, he'll try and force him into a bit of a mistake or a defensive manoeuvre, but so far, oh, Scott again there missing the apex massively. Is that going to invite Glenn into turn 1? I think not quite. This straight was a bit longer. I think you definitely see a bit more opportunity, but obviously you can't really build a longer straight because there is some serious infrastructure at the end of it. trying to get a run here on Rexy Boy, trying to come back at him for P4. Rexy Boy obviously nicked it off him a couple of laps ago. They got G.C. in hot pursuit as well as these three fight it out for 4th place. But Scott and Clen running nip and tuck, and they're going to have Justify looming large in their rearview mirrors any second if they continue to fight like they have been over the last few laps. Here comes Clen. Surely this is going to be a move for the lead. Again, it's now Scott powerless to defend, and Clen to the outside is going to make the move into the end of the straight there. And Scott thought about diving back up the inside, but thought better of it as Clen a little bit wide, but plenty of momentum there, mate, able to hold on to that one easily. Matty's still trying to keep the pressure here on Rexy Boy as well, so plenty of battles going on here out on track here tonight in Miami. Lots of exciting action here in the opening few laps. Clen's gap to Scott just under a second here. So we see Matty looking down the inside there at the end of the straight, having a little feint there on Rexy Boy. We've got Ruck there down the inside of Oliver up into 7th place. He's got a little bit wide though. Is that going to allow Oliver back in? It might well do here. And Ruck's into the pits, so that's oh, he's got a 10-second penalty as well. Oh, that's going to be a really unfortunate there for Ruck, and he's rage quit. He has rage quit from the session, which is silly really, because if he had a safety car or something he could have served that penalty for free, but his emotions got the better of him there. It's a shame. So we continue on. We've got double yellow flags for some reason, not sure why. Is that a safety car? Because I can see a dot near the pit lane. Now is it, I don't think it's a, no, I don't think it's a safety car. Yeah. But we've currently got Clen out the front here with a very solid gap here. So Scott's come into the pits. He's put the hard tyres on. He almost hits the wall there, really pushing on these fresh tyres. He wants the undercut. Well, when I say the undercut, he wants to make sure he comes out well ahead of Clen. Clen will come out some way behind, and Clen's coming in straight away. So Clen will come out behind because Scott will have got the undercut. Although saying that, is the safety car, is the virtual still out? No, it's not. So it looks like we're underway again. So Scott should be able to get the undercut here. He'll be on slightly more worn out tyres by the end, but not much. I wonder if these hards are going to go to the end, or whether we're going to see more pit stops later on, because we know that the punctures can be a real kryptonite on F1 25. So there's Clen just coming out of the pits now. So Scott's just up ahead of him, not too far ahead. And you'd expect that once he's got those tyres up to temperature, they'll be a fraction quicker than what Scott's are, but probably not going to make the world of difference, I wouldn't have thought. But every little helps, I suppose. Rexy Boy out the front has got the gap 2 seconds to G.C. but there's your net race leader, a couple of seconds ahead of Clen. And Justify there running in 5th place at the moment. There's Matty Pitt, a few seconds behind them.
Hi, baby.
Hello. We've got Mark and C. Faulkner here battling over 8th and 9th.
Here, is it?
No, it's nice. So we've got C. Faulkner here getting a bit closer to the back of the McLaren. DRS open here as they come down to the braking zone. A little bit too far away just at the moment. In the background there you've got Freddie and T still fighting over 11th and 12th places. Oh, it's G.C. really missed the apex going through that final corner. Is he coming into the pits? Yes, he is. Or is he? Yeah, he is, yeah. So Rexy Boy is now the only driver still yet to pit in the top part of the order at the moment. Although saying that, I think, yeah, no, he is, full stop. So Rexy Boy, the only driver who hasn't pitted here in this race so far. I tell you what, Clen has really gained on Scott over the last couple of laps. So Clen went for the medium tyres, so Clen's got to pit again. I wonder if Scott's going to try and go to the end, or if he is just playing it safe maybe he wants the faster tyres at the end. That's why he's gone for the hards for this stint, but nonetheless, Clen's got a push here, whereas Scott maybe not so much. But Clem will be wanting to get this done as soon as he can on these faster tyres. You have DRS done as straight, I'll tell you what, it is a three-way fight for the win here because Justify is very close as well. As Scott just missing the apex a little bit there, a little bit more than what he'd have wanted to. Clen sensing that this might be the moment. He'll have a great chance here coming out onto the back straight with only half a second separating them. So here we go, Clen onto the power now with DRS. Not got much battery here, but he's close enough that it probably won't matter. Here we go then. As Clen now looks to the inside and he's going to try and make this move here. He's on the inside. Scott saved a lot of his battery there and managed to keep himself in good stead, but Clen's going to get a run here out of the final corner and he's going to have this one done down the start finish straight. Has Scott got DRS or is Clen? Who's got DRS? Scott's got DRS, so now Clen's going to have to defend. Scott now looking to the inside is going to try and go for the immediate response here, and Clen tries to hang it around the outside and does so. Absolutely brilliant racing there from Clen. Scott's not giving this one up, rides over the curb a little bit, but Clen swoops around the outside and has got that move done up into second place on those fresher tyres. He had to do it there and then. He needs to now get on with this and try and pull out the gap because his tyres are going to be well, they're certainly going to have a shelf life here, so he's going to have to really get on with it and get his foot down and get away here. So Clen currently now in second place, obviously the net lead with Rexy Boy still yet to pit. Scott's now going to come under pressure here from Justify. Obviously Scott on the hard tyres, Justify also on the mediums like Clen, but is Scott going to try and go the distance? So Scott's got back around Clen in the DRS zone, so Scott's gone for the immediate, well not the immediate because he tried that into turn one, but he's gone for a pretty quick response here in this fight for the win. And now Clen's going to try and regroup and go again here on the back of Scott. So here we go then, down the back straight now, to the inside goes Clen. Oh, and look at that, wow! A wild Justify appears on the inside and makes the move on both of them there into that final corner. What a move there that was. Now Clen on the inside of Scott as they come through the final corner. Who's going to come on top in this one then? It's going to be Scott up the inside of Clen into turn one. Makes that one stick into P3. Great battle here, but Justify up into second place, managing to slingshot both of them there at the end of that back straight. As Drauger's picked up a 3-second penalty there for track limits. That's not gone well at all for Drauger. A long way to go here, so any drivers with penalties have got to really be careful over the course of the rest of this race. So this trio here, Justify, Scott and Clen, are closing in rapidly on Rexy Boy, who's still yet to pit. I wonder if Rexy Boy's going to try and do a one stop here. Maybe put some mediums on for the final stint. You see Scott getting close to the back of Justify there. As they now come through the final corner. Now Rexy Boy's in, so surely a two stop here for Rexy Boy. It'll be a couple of stints on the mediums, I would have thought from here. So Justify, Scott and Clen as three leaders, but Clen's just dropped off a little bit off of the top two over the last lap or so. Scott really piling the pressure here on Justify, and now we're going to start to see the hards come back at the mediums in terms of overall performance. Obviously at the beginning of the stint the mediums are much quicker, but as the stint goes on the hards do gradually claw their way back, and towards the end of the stint, after about 10 laps or so, they will be quicker than the mediums. But at this point you'd expect the mediums to still have the edge, but nonetheless Scott doesn't care about that. He's going to be trying his best to try and make this move here for the lead. He's been in this fight since the beginning, obviously put it on pole position in qualifying, in that damp qualifying session. Since then has been really on it here to try and convert that into his what would be, I believe, his first win here on F125. Certainly in Pebble sector. I would have thought he's probably got a few wins elsewhere, but nonetheless, here he comes then. DRS open to the inside, has a look, thinking better of it. And Justify still leading this trio of cars here. Also noticing on the timing screen that Rexy Boy is all over the back of C. Faulkner here. This could be a move being shaped up in a second, as here we go, Ferrari looking to the inside. Although now Faulkner's got the slipstream off of Freddie, which is helping him out massively there, and he was able to stay ahead because of it. But now Rexy Boy will get another dose of it. I tell you what, they've both got DRS here on Freddie and the slipstream as well. Here comes Rexy Boy then to the inside now on C. Faulkner. Is he going to make this move into turn 1? He is going to make the move, although C. Faulkner's not giving this up and has held it around the outside there beautifully. And Faulkner there keeping on to 8th place for the time being, so Rexy Boy's going to have to try it a little bit different if he wants to make this move sticker on the Racing Bulls car. As Freddie now starting to just eke away from these two whilst they battle. But back to the leaders here, Justify, Scott and Glenn still separated about a second at the moment. Plenty of this race still to go, and these guys are all I would have thought going to be coming into the pits again at some point. So Rexy Boy's now picked off C. Faulkner up into 8th place. Can he now chase down Freddie? Rexy Boy on fresher tyres than Freddie, who's about a second ahead of him in P7. Freddie will be trying to chase down Drago as well, I'm sure. 5 seconds behind G.C. Matty Pitt running in P4, albeit with a penalty. Although to be fair though, with Matty, it's been a bit of a surprise so far this on F125. You know, he's always a contender up there in most of the races over the years here at Pebble sector, but this game so far hasn't treated him well. But this, you know, touch wood, he seems to be getting the hang of it here tonight in Miami. G.C.'s now moved ahead of Matty up into 4th, although Matty's holding himself there. It's pretty tight between them at the moment. Tell you what, it's great racing as well, as now Matty's got the inside and has got that move done there into the chicane. So he's come back at him there. G.C. might have thought he had that one done. Matty on the mediums, G.C. on the hards. They're at the point in the stint now where the tyres start to become a bit more even. And G.C. looking really hungry here to get on with this. Obviously we'll get the position by the end of the race anyway, but I'm sure would like to get ahead and build a bit of a gap here, because you've got the likes of, well, Drago, but certainly Freddie as well, who'll be on it towards the end of this race. So G.C. there moving back ahead of Matty up into 4th place as he now come down the start-finish straight. So that, I think, is job done there for the Red Bull driver into 4th place. We've got Drago now into the pits here. Only been on his mediums for a very short while, so is he going to stick the hards on now and go to the end of the race, going for a bit of an undercut maybe? Yep, Drago should be able to go to the end from here with only 14 laps to go here. Also serving a penalty by the looks of it, or was it a front wing change? Didn't even see, guys. Anyone knows, that'd be great. So Rexy Boy now up into P6 ahead of Freddie. We've got C Faulkner there, a few seconds behind him, but these two giving us a good fight right now. Freddie's dropped back massively there, actually, just now. So Rexy Boy's fresh-ish medium tyres, really starting to pay dividends. He's currently 16 seconds off for the lead. He's only 5 seconds behind Matty Pitt, who's on much more worn-out tyres than he is. And Rexy Boy should have a delta here for the rest of this race, so he could have a bit of an advantage here. Glenn into the pits now. So is he putting the hard tyres on and going to the end of the race? Looks like he is. So now what do Justify and Scott do? Because now that Glen's obviously rolled to the ice, gone for the undercut, do these guys stay out and get themselves a nice tyre delta, or do they come in and cover them up? Problem is, coming in at this point for Scott for the mediums might be a no-no. So he might have to sacrifice track position here, stay out for a few laps, and then be able to actually put the hard tyres, or rather the medium tyres on, should I say. Unless of course he wants to just do another stint on the hards, he could do that. I feel like Scott can go to the end, says Jalma. Potentially, but the thing is, on this game, the tyres do puncture much quicker on this game to what they used to before, like that, and they can happen randomly after a certain point as well. I saw there was a race in China a few weeks ago. Justify's tyres blew after 10 laps. And I saw plenty of drivers going 11, 12 laps on them. They can just go at any time randomly. It doesn't require a certain stage of wear. Let's Justify into the pits now. Maybe a bit of PTSD from China, eh? But Scott nonetheless continuing on his way on those hard tyres. Justify putting another set of hard tyres on. Okay. Well, oh, of course, because yeah, he started on the medium, so he's done 2 medium stints. That is now both tyre compounds ticked off. And Glenn has obviously, as he would have predicted, got the jump there on Justify. Only just though. Tell you what, that was quite tight actually. But Glenn has got the move done, so now on 1 lap older tyres, he's going to have track position here. They've got some traffic to get through as well, because Rexy Boy still yet to make his final stop. G.C. 6 seconds up the road from these guys as well. They're in second place. Also, we'll have to come in for another set of tyres before we get to the end. So Justify's moved into 4th place here ahead of Glenn. Obviously, slightly fresher tyres, but clearly no warm-up issues here for Justify. And now looking on the back of Rexy Boy here as these guys come onto the long back straight here. So I'm sure that Justify will be getting ahead of Rexy Boy in a second. Is Glenn going to follow him through here as well? Because they're both very close here. I think it will just be Justify here. Now look to the outside. Is he going to have this move done? It's going to be close. As we go round the outside there, much more confidence on the brakes there on those fresh tyres. And Justify moving up into 3rd place there without any issues. Scott now in the box. Now what tyres is he going for? He has gone for the medium tyres for Scott. It's an early switch to the medium tyres. He's lost track position to Justify and Glenn. But he's got fresher, faster tyres, which may be the game changer here. He's come out just behind the back marker, the salvo there of John, who's a lap down, so won't be an issue there for him. But Scott with a bit of work to do, but has got the tyres underneath him. Now can he deliver? As Glen's got a 3-second penalty. That's going to be massive in this battle for the win. So Justify now has got the upper hand here. Glenn managing to finally get ahead of Rexy Boy after a bit of a faff there to move up ahead of the Ferrari. So obviously the car that's still yet to pit has really paid an absolute corker there. Oh, and I tell you what, Rexy Boy's not giving up as well. He's still fighting this one. He's gone around the outside of Glenn. Glenn looking to come back down the inside at the end of the straight, as these two are still side by side here. Glenn on the fresher tyres should have the move done here through the stadium section, but he's really been held up a lot there by Rexy Boy. Rexy Boy has played a real a stinker there for Glenn, but maybe Justify has now got a hand on this race win here, because obviously Glenn with the penalty but also Clen 3 seconds behind Justify now, so Justify's got to be the favourite for the win here. Could Scott be a threat to Justify here? He's 5 seconds off the lead. He's also got Rexiboy 2 seconds up the road from him, and Clen also in the way between himself and Justify, so Scott has got a lot of work to do. I think Justify has got to be the favourite at this point for this win. It's looking very likely at the moment that Justify will be stood on the top step come the end of this race. See Freddie into the box here, putting some soft tyres on. Wow, that's risky because, well, I suppose when you're running where he is, you might as well go for excitement for the last few laps of the race. But I don't think those soft tyres are going to last 10 laps. That'd be a real push for them. But nonetheless, Justify here trying to get ahead of G.C. Now there might be the point where Justify loses out a little bit here. Clen might have a chance to reel the gap in ever so slightly. Gap's still 3 seconds. Justify with the DRS powers past G.C. without any issues there, up into the lead of the race. But G.C.'s got to pit again here. It would be a heck of a run if he gets to the end of the race on those hard tyres. I don't think that's going to be possible with Scott there now ahead of Clen. So Scott is really gaining rapidly right now on the leaders. He's under 4 seconds behind Justify, so he's gaining about a second a lap at the moment. Obviously the mediums wear out faster than the hards, so you would expect that by the end his tyres might be a bit slower, or at least not as much of an advantage. But at this point Scott is gaining massively here on the leader. So what's going to happen over the course of the last 9 laps of this race with Scott under 4 seconds behind Justify? It's going to be an exciting final few laps here. Rexiboy is coming out of the pits now on the medium tyres. It's going to come out in P8. Oliver also in the pits as well. Battle here raging on here between Drauga, C. Faulkner and Rexiboy. These guys battling for 6th, 7th and 8th places. Oh, there's contact there. Oh no, C. Faulkner's missing his front wing. So there's been some hefty contact there. I think Rexiboy also ran into the side of him as well. Rexiboy's now got DRS here on the back of Drauga, and he's going to move over to 6th place, but that's a nightmare there for Faulkner. He's going to have to come into the pits definitely to get that replaced. That's going to knock him back significantly. He'll be coming out, probably out of the points here after that. He'll be behind Street Boy. So that is an absolute disaster there for C. Faulkner. So Rexiboy and Drauga here battling for 6th and 7th, but Drauga a little bit too far away going into turn 1 to come back at Rexiboy, but that's, oh, what a shame there for C. Faulkner. As we go back to the battle here between Scott and Clen. But crucially for Justify, looks like Scott's not really gaining on him anymore, so I think Justify's got this one under control, barring any major catastrophes here. Does Matty only have a 3-second penalty? Let's have a look, Jalma. He does, yeah. All of them have got 3 seconds except John, who's got 12. So they're all looking alright in terms of penalties at the moment. So Glenn there looking to the inside of Scott there into the end of the back straight. A little bit too far away just there. So race leader currently 5.5 seconds ahead of them. G.C.'s got ahead of Matty up into 4th place as they're going into the final corner. Matty got that 3-second penalty, but he should be alright to finish in P5, and that'll be a welcome boost for Matty after what's been not what he's really used to in the first 2 races of this season. I'm sure he'll take confidence from this result here tonight if he stays where he is. I think Scott and Glenn have just had an incident because they have absolutely plummeted down the leaderboard here. I think there's been damage on the cars. Let's have a look. We can't really see at the moment. They're not showing on the screen. So let's see. Has Glenn got damage? No, they look alright at the moment. So the gap just absolutely soared between Justify and these two for a second there. So I'm not quite sure why that was. Oh, and Rexy Boy's out of the race. Has that triggered a safety car? We've definitely got yellow flags, but it does appear to only be in Sector 1. Oh no, I can see the safety car's out. The safety car has been deployed here on lap 24 with 5 laps left. Is anybody, are the guys going to come in for a free pit stop and put the softs on? This is going to be fascinating now. I can see the yellow dot in Sector 1. Safety car's out, yeah. Thanks, Freddie. And that has blown the race wide open now. Draga with a drive-through won't be able to benefit from the safety car. Neither will the guys with the 3-second penalties, but for everyone else, it's race on here. Oh no, you're kidding, Rexy Boy. Oh god. His wheel was disconnected and his car just didn't stop. Didn't turn. I mean, that is catastrophic. Well, I hope you're okay after your multiple G-force impact into the wall there, Rexy Boy. I hope the force feedback... Oh, you wouldn't have had to feel the force feedback because the wheel would have been disconnected, so I don't know what you're complaining about. And we've lost Draga as well. So Draga was in for a drive-through. I don't know, has he just binned it into the wall? I don't know. Well, we might have even been watching him, but I wasn't looking. I was looking at something else. Yeah, I don't quite know what's happened there, to be perfectly honest with you. Freddie says podium could be on it. It really could. Because with Glenn's penalty, Matty Pitt's penalty. Right, who's on what tyres? Let's have a look. It's going to be pivotal now, the tyres. So, oh, look at that. Okay, G.C.'s on the slower tyres, worn tyres. Oh, Freddie, it's gonna the podium's yours, mate. I mean, Justify and Scott might be hard to catch up to, but the rest of them, Jesus, that's on. Go on, Sean. That's got to be there for the taking. Jama, you've really embarrassed me here because I haven't got the foggiest. I used to be able to look on the Discord during the races, but because of the setup I've got right now, I'm basically controlling the PlayStation on my phone, and as soon as I come off of the remote play app, it basically, like, an overlay appears on the screen saying, please press a button on your remote play app to reconnect, and then it's like I can't, and I have to then reconnect my mic and all that. So it's basically a huge inconvenience that I'd rather avoid. Otherwise, I'd tell you, I should have really looked before the start of the race, or just printed it out and just had it in front of me. But I just not very good at preparing for things, unfortunately. Sorry. If I had to guess who was the championship leader, I'd probably guess Justify because he's been most consistently up there, but I'm actually not sure. I could be completely wrong. But anyway, here we are then, coming into the final couple of quarters here. 2 laps left to go in this Miami Grand Prix here. So it's going to be Justified to get us back underway again. It's a 2-lap sprint to the flag here in Miami, as Scott looking to the outside has already got ahead of him here, so he timed it to perfection there, waited until he crossed the line and then went and mugged him there into turn 1. Scott now leads out of Justify with Glenn there in 3rd place. You've got G.C. right behind him there in P4, followed by Matty Pitt. Freddie there still running in P6 currently. G.C. on his warm tyres, Glenn and Matty on the penalties. Freddie in a prime position here to take away a podium off of these guys, as Justify all over the back of Scott, trying to come back at him here. Scott absolutely timed that perfectly there, coming out of the final corner, managed to get the run around the outside of Justify into the lead. Now Justify is looking to try and come back at him here. No DRS on this lap, it'll be available on the next one, so Justify will have to do this on pure grunt if he wants to get back ahead of Scott here to the outside, coming down to the end of the first straight. Is he going to be able to make this one happen? He's going to look around the outside, but Scott says absolutely not. Justify manages to squeeze him just appropriately there to the edge of the track, and now Glenn is looking to try and feast on any scraps that Justify leaves on the table at the moment. But so far, G.C.'s held his ground very well with these soft tyre runners behind him, Matty Pitt and Freddie, and is currently still running in 4th place at the moment. But here we come down the back straight towards the final corner again. Justify in the slipstream, and is Scott going to defend? He's going to defend to the middle of the track, not full defensive, and Justify is going to poke a nose up the inside. He's going to try and make this one happen here, as they almost touched there. Was there a bit of contact? I'm not sure. Justify managing to squeeze through, but Scott has got the momentum here, and they're still very, very close. Scott on the inside, Justify slightly ahead coming into turn 1. Who's going to be bravest on the brakes here into turn 1? I think Justify should be able to hold it around the outside. Scott trying to give it everything here, and Justify holds on to the lead by the skin of his teeth there, and Scott there could not manage to keep that around the outside, but Justify's done brilliantly there to take the lead back after he obviously led on the restart, and Scott managed to mug him around the outside. But Justify seems like he's got the confidence here in the car in this final lap of the race here. We got Glenn a little bit wide there on the background behind Scott. We've got Matty Pitt in 4th place. Freddie is now up into P5 and in a podium position right now as things stand with the penalties. So what work it's been from Freddie tonight after getting into qualifying only 2 minutes before the end of the session. Fantastic job here from him. as Justify here has got just half a lap left to go. Now Scott's going to have one more chance to make this move. He's going to have the DRS zone, but Justify has done bits through the stadium section. Look at the gap he's pulled through these few corners. Justify has pulled out the gap when he needed to here. What a phenomenal few corners that was, and that has just won him the race here. Justify in a league apart here from the rest of them as they come down this long back straight towards the final corner. Surely Justify's got it, although Scott is really gaining. Wow, look at this. I tell you what, Scott might have a chance here. Justify got a horrible exit out of that previous corner. Scott down the inside. He's going to try and make this move. Justify getting the good exit out of the corner, and he's going to have it done. It's going to be Justify over the line here to take the win in Miami ahead of Scott, who takes second place. Glenn is going to be dropped off the podium there, so it's going to be Freddie third ahead of G.C. fourth, with Matty Pitt P5, Glenn sixth ahead of Mark seventh, with C Faulkner in 8th place, Oliver ninth ahead of T, who takes the final point, Street Boy in 11th place, and John's Lapped AI will cross the line in P12. And that is that, everybody, for tonight. Not AI, sorry, it was him. But anyway, that is it, guys, for tonight. And well, yeah, absolutely, you can roll. That was brilliant, really great to watch that. And yeah, guys, we'll see you all next week on Tuesday. Make sure you join us as always for round 7 of the Purple Sector Formula 1 League. Driver of the day there goes to Freddie, and I've got to say I agree with that. I couldn't have picked a better driver there for driver of the day. Fantastic stuff there, going from almost not even getting into the qualifying session to 3rd place. Also, his opening start to the race was an absolute nightmare, so well done to Freddie. But Justify, Scott and Freddie, your podium finishes here tonight. Freddie also with the fastest lap as well. G.C. and Matty Pitt there, with Glenn completing the top 6. Then we've got Mark, C Faulkner, Oliver and T, your final points paying positions. Street Boy John with Drago Rexy Boy not finishing the race. Thanks everybody, we'll see you all next week Tuesday night. Join us then. Good night.